Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your ticker guy coming at you from wonderful, Niceville, Florida. I want to talk to you today about corruption. You know all the stories. Treasury secretaries that corral Congress in a room, threaten them with martial law if they don't get $700 billion now. Then they change their mind about what they're going to use the money for while Congress is still debating the bill and don't bother to tell them. Another Treasury Secretary, the current one, the only man qualified to run Treasury and the Internal Revenue Service out of 330 million people in this fine country, can't pay his taxes. People on both sides of the aisle, Democrat and Republican, they put in place a so-called bankruptcy reform bill that was immediately seized upon to screw you, the consumer, out of billions of dollars. A banking system that generates $40 billion a year in overdraft and late fees. Fees that they, to a large degree, generate on their own by reordering transactions. A banking system that has a member of it still operating in the United States today that was selling securities, allegedly grade AAA, AAA, to people, while sending emails around their office saying, do we still have this vomit? That's right. It gets worse, of course. We still have banks that are hiding losses. We still have banks that are refusing to foreclose on people for a year or longer after they stop paying their mortgage, because that would force them to actually mark that loan to the market and take the loss. We have lies going on all throughout the financial system. It's been going on now since this crisis began. We have a Federal Reserve chairman who claimed on national television in a hearing before the Congress under oath that he would not monetize the federal debt while he was doing so. It goes on. I could spend an hour, 2 hours chronicling every one of these things, but most of it's already in a YouTube video, and all of it that I have found so far has been in at least one ticker. No, what I bring to your attention today, folks, is the outrage that has been put on display by Glenn Beck. Two young filmmakers and muckrakers, good ones at that, posing as a pimp and a prostitute going into a community organization, and as the press would tell you, asking for advice on obtaining housing for opening a brothel. Folks, that's political correctness run amok. What those two individuals actually came into those offices and asked for advice on was transporting children that had been kidnapped from El Salvador across the international boundary into the United States for the purpose of selling them to pedophiles. That's the business plan that was presented to these community organizers. And in almost every case, at least all the cases we've seen on tape, they were helped. Nor did it stop there. In one tape, they're told which border to use to minimize the risk of getting caught. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a Democrat issue. This is not a Republican issue. This corruption has gotten so far into the American system of politics, government, quasi-government organizations, community organizations, and everything else up and down the line. Banks, businesses, you name it, it's going on. That this organization felt perfectly safe in having that conversation with two undercover filmmakers in multiple cities across the United States. Where are the cops? And where is the outrage of the American people? This is not just about a couple of kids going into an office and saying, I want to import some 13-year-old girls so that some creepy pedophile can pay $300 to screw them. This is about the culture of corruption. This is about a government apparatus that refused to investigate mortgage appraisals and fraud. The independent appraisers tried to get this practice stopped 10 years ago, there was a petition with thousands and thousands of signatures. It was ignored. There were multiple racketeering investigations allegedly going on prior to the election regarding irregularities in campaign finance and voter registration. Where did those particular investigations go? They disappeared. Why? A prominent New York newspaper spiked a story about this just weeks before the election. Why? We have members of Congress who think it's perfectly okay to get sweetheart mortgage deals that no one else can get under a program that's actually called Friends of Angelo. Hello, special influence, stated right on its face. Why? Where is the FBI? We have 50 state prosecutors, 50 attorneys general across this great land called America. We have 330 million people in this country. Is there no outrage left? 330 years ago, we had 56 men who put their signatures on a document and pledged their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor. Many of them lost their lives over taxes. Today, we have a group of very wealthy individuals that have literally robbed this nation blind for 20 years, both Democrat and Republican, and nothing has been done, even though fraud is still against the law. If you're a Democrat, you have no right to go after Republicans and turn this into a partisan issue. You go after the people in your own damn party. If you're a Republican, ditto. Take out your own trash. I issue this call today, right now. There are 50 states attorney general. Why do we not have investigations going on into this corruption? Ratings agencies, banks, the whole 9 yards, all of it. Why? Why does an organization that has displayed a pattern of giving advice to people who come in to operate an obvious criminal enterprise still have an office open in any state of this union? Why? Why do we have a Treasury Secretary who can't pay his taxes? Why do we have a member of House Ways and Means who can't pay his taxes? Why are these people still in Congress? Where are the cops? And more importantly, where are the citizens? Are we sheep? Are we consumers? Or are we citizens of the United States with a sacred duty to uphold a document that is the foundation of this country? It's called the Constitution. And it is not toilet paper. It is time for the people of this nation, the good, decent people of this nation, to say, enough. No more. Never, ever again. Right here, right now. I'm your ticker guy, and that's my view.